What's up guys, if you did check out our last video where we started our turbo build on our Lexus IS300 project car that I'm in right now, be sure to go back and check out that video just up there. And today we've got a lot more to do. We're going to drill the sump out and start bolting things on for the final time, and hopefully at least get it turned over and idling a little bit as well. So be sure to keep watching and let's get into it. So here we are starting under the car today, where we need to get this sump dropped off so we can start drilling out our oil return fitting for the turbo. So we're going ahead and cracking off a few of these bolts for that now. We do have the engine jacked up slightly, as it's very difficult to get to these back ones, but we can manage without taking the subframe off. So we've got that all off, and you can see our oil pickup in there, and the sump is now dropped off. So we're going to remove that fully all out the way so we don't get any metal shavings when we start drilling, because we don't want any of that entering the engine at all. So here we are. This is the point where everyone plumbs in their oil return for the turbo. The factory GTE already has a fitting just on there, so it was essentially made for it. So we're just going to tap something just into there. We've done our pilot hole through there, and now we're going to just start sizing it up with a drill bit until we get to our fitting size, which is a M18 bit needs to go through. So we've got our Christmas tree bit, and we're just going to go up until about 15 or 16 millimeters, so we can then tap in with our nice tap. We're going to splice into there and hopefully get that done. So just following plumbing in our oil return, we also need to plumb in an oil feed for the turbo. So we're going to come off of the factory oil pressure switch, and we've got a little T-piece fitting, and our original oil pressure sensor can go on there as well. And then we're going to feed a line just to the top of the turbo with this piece here. What's up guys, we're just taking a short break to go over some details about our ECU options for what we're doing. So I picked up this ECU Master digital ECU tuner, which is a piggyback ECU. This came with our cheap turbo kit that we got with the car. After a little bit of research, I found it very difficult to find someone that wanted to tune one of these, because ultimately they're not the best option. From my experience and understanding, they're a little bit of a bodge option for ECU tuning, especially in the application we want to use it for. So something very exciting, we're doing away with that, and we've gone with a standalone ECU Masters Black for this car. So something very cool we picked up as well that's come through in the post. We've got our adapter wiring harness here as well. This came from Williams Engine Management Services. They've done a great job. We've got a custom loom essentially, so we can get rid of our factory ECU completely as well. So our ECU Masters Black and our new wiring harness can sit in the factory location that it sits just under the engine bay. But this thing looks great. It's very well put together. We've got our original plugs that our original harness will plug into on this end, and we've also got the ECU Masters adapter and plugs on the other end, as well as an assortment of sensors and other bits and pieces on there. Again, I don't do a whole lot of wiring, so I don't understand how this works, but this is what I was informed is the right bit to get for our standalone ECU. So I'm very excited, but let's get back into it and finish the car off for the bits that it needs before it goes for tuning. So here we are, we've got our oil feed lines there and our return plumbed in. We've got an intake that we need to adjust slightly, as it's a little bit too long at the moment. I bought a little bit of a bent pipe so we can make our own intake for it, but we do go ahead and chop that down just so it can fit inside the engine bay nicely, being far away enough from the hot exhaust as well. So we do have our down pipe, which we need to fit still, as well as the intake. And as you can see, our down pipe will need a bit of adjustment because we've got this tube sitting there, so we'll have to adjust that slightly and modify it so we can fit our downpipe nicely without burning it completely. We've got our intake on now, we've got all our piping routed for the intercooler, and everything is getting very close to the point where we're almost ready to start the car, and I absolutely cannot wait. So I'm just checking over some last bits, making sure everything is routed correctly at the bottom for the piping as well. So now, last thing to do before we start is fill out with oil, because we haven't done that yet, and that would be a big issue. So I do go ahead and pop some oil in, and I do manage to spill it absolutely everywhere, which isn't a great start, as it's going to be a little bit smoky when we do come to starting it up. But she's filled up with oil now. We're going ahead and removing the fuel injector fuses, so we can build the oil pressure for the turbo feed line, as we do not want to start this turbo without any oil pressure getting to it. So we do go ahead and do that beforehand. So we've built up the oil pressure in the line going to the turbo, and put a bit of oil inside the turbo as well, and spun it just to make sure she's lubricated before we start, and we're ready to go. So we did just start the car, but we only wanted to do it for literally a split second just to make sure it did start, and then we can start looking at things in more detail and actually adjust the fuel pressure regulator so she starts running a bit smoother. So we're almost all done with the turbo. I'm so excited to see this thing running for the first time and then mapped and get it running properly. But the car does turn over. We have shown a video of the car turning over and starting just for a second before it dies, which is probably just due to us needing to adjust the adjustable fuel pressure regulator. But we've got all our remaining clamps in the post, because we were missing a few, so everything, all the intercooler piping is all bolted on. We've got our intake just sitting down there, which we made ourselves. We did have to cut it a little bit just to get the exact fitment we wanted, but we've got the intercooler all plumbed in just there, and I think we're almost ready to go, so fingers crossed she'll be idling today. And then we've got another problem that we need to sort, our radiator. So I thought there's no point just sticking a stock radiator in there, so we've gone for a little upgrade, and once the car's idling nicely, then we'll go ahead and replace that as well. So yes, we have got it fully running and idling after adjusting the fuel pressure regulator, but the last thing we need to do is start chopping this lovely bumper to pieces so it will fit with our intercooler. So we're just going to start by removing these grills off and cutting away a little bit of this lip so it fits behind our intercooler nicely. And this is a big shame, because this is actually a genuine factory TTE bumper as well. So we've got the bumper on the car, just doing another test fit after cutting a bit away. We're still not quite there yet. We're going to have to chop a little bit more away, but you can see what I've done where I've sort of cut the semicircles out for the piping as well. So we got the bumper back off, a little bit more adjustments, so we're sort of cutting these half circles out of the very corners so the piping can fit nicely. But we've got it on for its final time now. We did have to chop away a lot more than we wanted to, as you can see here and in the front. Again, please don't look at it up close if you do ever see the car, because it's definitely a 20 feet away kind of car. But you can't argue with it all done and the bumper on, as well as now I've got my rear bumper painted, spoiler painted, and the rear lights. It is a pretty good looking car, you have to admit. So here we are, everyone. It's a very cold morning. We're just getting the car lowered on the floor now, because everything else that we can do is done. We've got our bumper on, fitted nicely, as nice as it can be. All our turbos on. Car is idling, but there's a few bits to finish off and then tuning. So yeah, we're just dropping it on the floor, and we're going to wave goodbye to it in a second to go off on the trailer to go to get tuned, and then we'll check in with you guys as soon as it's back with us, and we're so excited to have it all ready. But if you have liked the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. We're going to end it here for today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.